Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we are talking about the Pimax Crystal Lite with DLSS 4.0 and some of the major differences that have been brought to the simulator experience by the two combined. So stick around to find out exactly what's going on here, because this is pretty impressive. If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. All right, folks, so here we are in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. As you guys can see, we are in the Pimax Crystal Lite. I want to apologize right out of the gate if the audio is poor. We are trying out a new mic source and trying to get it refined. So some of the audio settings obviously need a little bit of work, but I'm trying to figure out a different audio source that's going to sound really nice while in the seat here, because a boom mic just doesn't work real well when you're flying in this thing. Second thing, if you guys see any weird camera movements or shifting, it is not the simulator. It is Sim Racing Studios, which is the app that controls the DOF Reality H3 motion platform that we are sitting in. I highly recommend you guys check it out. The issue is that it's doing motion compensation, and I have not configured it correctly, so you may see some camera jumping. That's my project for tonight, is to get motion compensation working. But where what spawned this video is that over the weekend I completely wiped my computer. I do it about twice a year. I am constantly updating new things, trying new softwares, applying this, installing that, uninstalling this, reinstalling this, switching this hardware, changing these drivers, right? You guys catch the gist. So twice a year I'll wipe the box completely clean and give it a nice clean start, and that happened over the weekend. Now, the reason why I point that out is because for the Pimax Crystal Lite, the only thing I did was installed Pimax Play. I installed the OpenXR mirror for OBS that you guys are seeing. That's how you're seeing my recordings here. And I launched the simulator. That was it. We are currently using DLSS 4.0, obviously, with the preset J for Juliet in the Nvme app. I use DLSS Swapper to update the DLSS version. And we are set to ultra settings right now inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are at full ultra. I have absolutely changed nothing else. So the reason why I make it a point to state all of that is because this is the first time that I can ever think of where I was ever able to launch the simulator, launch Pimax, and just fly in VR for the first time without having to tweak anything, without having to change anything over a very largely populated area. We are over Tokyo, Japan. So as you guys can tell, there are buildings and terrain absolutely everywhere. So that's a lot of rendering. Okay, so DLSS 4.0 has certainly been a massive game changer for me. Now, I personally believe we're going to go into a little bit of what some are going to probably call a sales pitch. Say I'm trying to sell something. And by the way, guys, there's been a lot of comments about that. Oh, what is he trying to sell us now? You know, if you guys don't want to see that stuff, then don't watch my channel. And you know who you are. This does certainly not go to everyone. If you don't want to hear my reviews, if you don't want to watch things, then go away. Go watch somebody else's channel. But for those of you who appreciate the content, thank you, love you. And anyway, moving forward. With that in mind, I believe that the Pimax Crystal and the Pimax Crystal Lite are currently the best virtual reality headsets on the market for what their feature list is and what their price points are. And so that's why I am a huge proponent of the Pimax Crystal Lite, is because it is $799, and I think you get the best experience. It has the clearest of the lenses that I've ever had. And the Crystal Lite being a hardwired set is an extreme improvement over the Crystal not having to worry about the battery. And the wider field of view compared to most other headsets is just phenomenal. Some of the other headsets absolutely have better quality or color settings and color depth. But when it comes to the overall all-around feature list, I highly recommend the Pimax Crystal Lite, and if you really want the best of the best, I recommend the Super. I have a different opinion than some of the other reviewers, and that's totally fine. But I believe that the Super, especially once all the features and everything are dialed in and we get that mixed reality faceplate, I think it's going to decimate just about everybody. So anyway, and before anyone calls me a Pimax fanboy, yes I am. But how do you become a fanboy? You become a fanboy by buying something multiple times and realizing that, wow, every time I use this, I'm very happy with the product. And I have purchased and owned with my own money every single release that Pimax has ever put out, right up to the 8KX. The Pimax Crystal was the first one that was ever provided to me. So, anyways, with VR being the big hit that it is now, you got a lot of competition coming out, a lot of new headsets that are on the rise. I wanted to toss that out there for a minute. Now, with regard to the Pimax Play, by the way, everything is at the default settings, as I said, so whatever it comes out of the box with. I believe the hertz are set to 90 hertz, not the 90 hertz upscale, just 90 hertz. Quality is set to balance, and I believe smart smoothing is enabled by default. So that's whatever the Pimax Play installs with, that's what the settings are, and that's what I wanted to see is how much of a difference was it really going to make. And I can tell you right now that with the motion platform of the DOF Reality H3, and I say specify the H3 because the H3 has the yaw as well as the roll and pitch. With the AB9 from Moza, the force feedback flight stick that we have down here in the right hand, and in the virtual reality headset, whatever virtual headset you choose to use, it is an absolutely astonishing experience in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and one of the best that I have ever had. I am really, truly amazed by all this, you guys. They've really come a long way. And so, anyway, I hope that you guys found some use out of this one. I highly recommend that you guys check this out. And I want to specify once again that this is on ultra settings. My graphic settings are a complete ultra with the DLSS set to quality and the mode reprojection set to depth. And I am on an RTX 4080. And the reason why I specify that is because if you are on a lower performing machine, I want you keep in mind that this is on ultra, so you can still come down to high, you can come down to medium, you can turn some other things down. There are still other settings within inside the Pimax Play. So if you think that VR is something that's been out of reach for your machine, or maybe that you think that you just couldn't get it as smooth as you want, now is definitely the time to give it a shot, because this is absolutely incredible. And I can't wait till I get that motion compensation figured out, because that's really weird, having the dash come into my face like this. But we'll figure that part out later. But anyway, guys, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Stay safe and healthy, and I shall see you all in the next one.